All right, we're going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to try to build a town that is as tiny as possible. So we're going to be taking a lot of our first serfs that we get, and we're going to be taking them off task and putting on new task and only leaving one behind to continue the work. Since they're going to be leveling up so they can work a little faster, do a little bit more. Hopefully I explained that well. All right, we've got ourselves a new game. We're not going to do Dragonville anymore for a while, unless, of course, we get a lot of requests for me to go back to it. And I'm going to go ahead and select the first one again, since it seems to be the easiest. Now, let's see. We don't want the ocean to be too big. And we do want the bay to have a little bit of size to it. We do want a lake to have some size to it. No, that's not all that big. That doesn't look any bigger. We'll make the coast a little bit bigger also. Try to keep these about the same, I guess. Islands, cliffs, no, we're trying to make this as simple as possible. So that means making it as flat as possible. Yeah, we'll go down one more with that, I think. That looks like a big flat area. Okay, so we decided that we could do this one here, couldn't we? But oh boy, it changes everything. Now, a lot of people like this map because they like to build bridges and have a large area to build their monastery or their fort or something. They take away a lot of your options, don't they? Again, we'll shrink it down and get it as flat as possible. Well, we want a little bit of a slope. You know what? I haven't played on this, and man, this really looks flat. Maybe we'll make the lake a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's really bigger or not. It looks like it just adds more and more of these. I wonder if those are where the large tall rocks are, where you find a lot of resources. Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? Okay, it's a little different. Of course, I'm thinking coastal being the first choice is probably still considered to be the easier one to start with. Okay, so now we go to our rooms. I'm thinking I'll go with I think that means that the tutorial is on, which seems like a good idea. I don't have any mods, as it shows you. Okay. Ever happy population on, that makes sense. Invulnerable army. I don't know if that actually works the way I think it does. Unlimited coins. I'm assuming that if it's darkened out, it means it's on. Doesn't really give me much of a clue, does it? But see, down here everything is white. So maybe ever happy population is actually turned off. Invulnerable army, unlimited coins, cosmetic construction, optional events. Oh geez, I hope it's not turned off. Undepletable small mineral. Okay, well, let's just kind of go with what it is. That's called classic, so we'll go with it. And yeah, we'll do this one because each of these have restrictions. Like this one is never build a monastery or a castle. Never build a castle, keep the villager population before 75, and never promote a villager. Never build a monastery. This leaves you with all the options, so let's go with that. And we said we were going to call this one Tineitown. Tineitown. Tineitown? Maybe I should add an A in there. Tineitown? Yeah. That makes sense. Now, we don't have any choices here. We have to be a pioneer. And, small. That sounds like a good name for a guy that's in charge of a tiny town. Flies. Well, first let's change this color. Let's go for gold. And then we'll change this color for yellow. I like that combination. Okay, let's see, the bottom of the shield, round. Yeah. Top of the shield, square. Yeah, that's a pretty classic design. Huh. Let's see. Down the center. Now come over here. Alright. That takes away everything. Well, let's get down to just one. Rabbit. Boar. I think that's a goat. What is that? Is that supposed to be a chicken or a duck? No, it wouldn't be a duck. Pigeon? I don't know. A frog. Fish. Another fish. So it got two eyes? Yeah, that'd be a flounder. A tree. Wheat. Oh, well, no. A simple, small rook castle. Oh, that'd be like a clergy sign. That's more of a German thing. That's more of an English. I'll tell you what, let's just go with the rook. And let's see, we'll make it bright red, dark red, more of a pink, a really light shade of pink, or maybe black. Ooh, that's a good contrast. No, let's go with the darker. Well, how about green? No, I think I like this better. And what color are we going to outline it with? That'd be same as the background. How about green? No, it's not much of a contrast, is it? I guess white is the best contrast we can hope for. Okay, so we'll go with that. Of course, you could randomize and then, go undo and all that, but I think we're good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it on pause. While you have the game, you might want to read these because normally they're pretty good. The one about the builder's workshop being moved to the construction site, no matter how far away from the builder's house it might be, is not good information. It's misleading because the builders really don't want their workshop. I think it is called workshop actually. They don't want their workshop being all that far from their house. Now the project, they don't seem to care how far away that is. So yeah, just be aware of that. Now we're also going to use a different strategy where we're mining and making sure that the people that we give a job to, that they have a home near their actual work site. Okay, so now we got to decide where we're going to start. So what I usually do, since this is the only thing they give you to start the game with, is I use the map. And I can't seem to move around too much. Nothing seems to allow me to move. So they're going to force me to stay in a certain area. See, this white line here is supposed to be all the way over here. But can I drag it over? No, I can't seem to move anything. Well, that's not cool. Well, anyway, they want us to start over here, so they're not going to give us many choices. That looks like a river there. Purchase this territory. Most of it is on the river, or this one here. Nothing in this area. Oh, that wouldn't give you much to start with. We want to stay fairly close to this large lake. I'll try to explain the reasons why. If it's not obvious, okay, first one is free, so boom. And then we have to click up here, get off the map. Now, the first thing we want to do, of course, is village center. Now, where is it? There it is. Now, what I'm going to recommend is that you go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to buy... Am I going to buy over here or over here right away? Well, depending on what you decide, that's the edge of this area. So if you're going to buy this one, you would put it here, kind of like in the center of this line. If you're going to buy over here, then you would put it over here. That rock pile is probably pretty close to where you'd want to go. Now, I'm going to use the R key like in Roger Rabbit to get a top-down view. Because whatever I use, it goes all the way up here. Where is the center? I'm using the mouse wheel. It won't go out any more than this, so I would probably put it right there. And then I go ahead and say build. And you now have a hamlet of Tineitown. And now you've got some new buildings. Now what I do is I right-click with my mouse just to dismiss these. Otherwise they'll hang there for quite a while. Now I can zoom in with the mouse wheel. I can use the F like in Frank or Freak or whatever other word you can think of. It starts with F. And right away you can see, now my direction keys is A, S, D, and W. That's how you control your camera, which is pretty common in most games. Now we'll left click. Most of this will be all left clicks. We've got to start with our Builder's Workshop. And we want to start it off by using the R like a Roger Rabbit key and zoom out with the mouse wheel, kind of get an idea where we're at here. Now I'm going to back it up to right up, you see where the scrub brush is? The scrub brush is not something you actually use in the game. So if I destroy some of it, it won't matter to me. Now I can assign, well, I'll zoom in with the mouse wheel first. And we'll use the F key to get back down to eyeball level. No worker assigned. So you left click. This screen comes up. And you just pick somebody. I'm going to go to the bottom list by scrolling my mouse wheel. There we go. We now have a builder. I'm going to leave it, as you can see, on speed 1 right down here for now. Now we click here again. We want her to do something. Now what I'm going to recommend is you go ahead and look at these. Get rid of those little tick marks, or whatever you want to call it. There's little, like, what was it, exclamation points or something? Just go ahead and run through all of these. And that'll take away that one there too. Then you want to go back here. And that's where you got your Builder's Workshop and later on your village markets. The next one is your harvesting. You got your forester camp. Now they offer it first, and generally speaking, it is a good idea to put it down first. Just so that you don't forget to do it. Now I'm going to put it pretty close to my Builder's Workshop. But again, I'll use Roger Rabbit key, the R key. And then I'll zoom in with the mouse wheel. Now you see you don't want to get too close. It takes away the ability for your villager to get in there. Now also, when I'm zoomed in like this, I'm looking at the footprints of the two structures. I want to keep at least what looks to be, in my estimation, about 1/4 of an inch between the two buildings. That's about enough right there, I think. Two villagers should be able to walk side by side or pass each other if they make a trail there, and everything will be okay. Now I'll zoom out with the mouse wheel. I'll look to see if I want to make any final adjustments, and I'm just going to make this path the same width all the way through. And then I'll go ahead and I'll pay the 10 gold that it'll cost me. And my builder should get ready. Grab some supplies out of this beginning stack. And as you can see, there's not that much there. Oh, we got 2 people that want to move in already. At the beginning of the game, this is pretty safe. But I don't recommend doing that very often or very much. Now, we can speed this up, go down here, and just click on it twice. And then when she gets done, we'll slow it back down to 1. If you slow it down 1 more, it'll go into pause mode. Okay, now we need to assign somebody there, but actually I'm not going to do that. Because I don't need that person right now. I just need the building to make sure I don't mess up. Alright, so now let's see. I'm going to put this right about here, I think. Keeping everything pretty close to where we start. And then I'm going to do the R key and zoom in with the mouse wheel like we did before. And then grab the directional key. If I move it too close, it'll take away that tree. Now, that is not critical right now, but I think it's important. All right, let's go ahead and build our wood, or what they call the lumber camp. And let's go ahead and speed it up, because just about everything we build is going to be necessary for wood. So wood's always going to be a priority. What's she doing? Current activity, I'm on free time, so she's not going to do anything. She's taking a break. Now, you see that area where they're all going back and forth then? They're always going to go back there whenever they take a break. All new visitors looking for work are going to go there. Most of your visitors from different towns are going to go there. So that's an important spot. And around that spot, while you're trying to make it slightly bigger, is where you're going to put all your market. Your village markets where you sell food and stuff to the villagers. Let's see, let's get back over to here. This is what I'm talking about, right there. All right, she got that done. So now what we need to do is see right here where it says paint. You know what? When we started the game, I was wondering if the off, which was bright white, and the on, which was darkened out, I think the bright white means it is off. And if I want to turn it on, I have to click on the on option, which is darkened, and force the off to be darkened instead of bright white. And of course that would turn the one that says on bright white. Interesting. Well, anyway, you're like a little dictator. You have to give them permission to do anything and everything. And also you have to move your cursor out in order to use the mouse wheel effectively. Now what we want to do is we want to give them permission to cut wood. And now if we hold down our control key, then we move our mouse wheel. You see there? By moving the mouse wheel, we make it bigger or smaller. By holding down our control key, it doesn't matter which one. So I'm just going to click on this whole area. Boom. And of course, if I don't own it, they won't let me click on it. Now I can also hold down my left mouse button and I can drag it across. I'm also going to add this little bit right here there. All right, so that's good enough. We've got that done. Now we need somebody to do the work. So we click here. That's the left mouse button, just like most clicks are going to be left mouse button. We're going to click here. And I'll put the first person, which is a guy, to work. Now, at the beginning of the game, I usually want to have all 3 of these going here, because we need a lot of wood fast. Now, we'll click here again on paint. Now, we want to decide, well, where are they going to build housing? Or where do we want them to remove a resource, a tree, rocks, berries, whatever, and not worry about collecting the resources for it. Now, if we want to buy another territory, of course, we click here. But we have to have 100 gold coins. Now, like I said, do I want to go this way or do I want to go this way? Or maybe even down this way? Well, I placed this thinking I would take this place over here. Now, as you can see, it's not going to cost anything right now, but in the future, there's going to cost 100 coins. Or do we want to take it? Now, these are all very oddly shaped. If we click here with the left mouse button, in the future, it's probably going to tell us, do we want to abandon it? Well, I'm going to go ahead and click here. All right, so now we have 2 territories. Now we'll click here to get back to normal, or we click here because we want to construct something. And then we have to figure out what do we want to construct. Well, the next thing that's going to be real important to us is going to be the stone quarters camp, because without stone, we can't do the well. And let's see, where's the nearest stone? Yeah, that's stone, and this one over here is also stone. More stone. I might as well go ahead and explain this to you while I'm here. You see, you got some stone with moss and stone that has no moss. Well, the ones with no moss on them means there's something there that you can harvest. Okay, that's more stone. And I think that's the closest one, isn't it? Oh, now this one's not stone. You see those reddish streaks, rusty looking streaks? That's your iron. Way too early for us to collect any of that. Yeah, that's iron there also. So the closest stone pile we have is right there. So we would click here. All this is very repetitious, so you should know what I'm doing since I've already demonstrated a few times. So I want to move it up like this, move it over a little bit like that. Yeah, that looks like plenty of space there for them to get in and out. And these are their entrance and exit points where you see the little white triangles. Now, if you hit here, it's going to just take away the whole thing. But we want to build. So now our builder, she's not on break. Use the F key like, oh, she's busy. She's getting busy. She's going to come over here. And she's got the 2 tools she needs, but she doesn't have all the wood she needs yet. Now, the only place she can gather wood from right now is the wood camp. So she'll go over there like you saw her do, and she'll grab some. And she'll bring it over here. Now she has everything she needs, and she'll get busy. It gives you her name and the fact that she's assigned to the job. There we go. Now we can go ahead and get busy. And at the first, I want to have 3 people in there, the full crew. All right, so we've got a full crew working. We're sped up to 3. Oh, they've already filled up all of their storage space. And we have, how many villagers altogether? 12. We've used a builder, 3 wood, and 3 stone, so we've used up 7. So we still got 5 to work with. Since we haven't assigned anybody to do this job right here. And that's going to be a while before that happens. All right, back into building. Sawmill. Oh, before we do that, we got to give them a place to live. Now, the game recommends you do a drag instead of spots like a lot of people like to do. And this is, oh no, we bought it over here. So I'll just do now I'll do a drag. And see, this is big enough. They immediately accept the fact that this area is big enough for them to get to work. The builder is the one, of course, that's doing the work. And since we only have 1 builder, she can only do 1 house at a time. Now I'm going to left click right here to turn off paint. So now would be a good time to go ahead and fill out the builders. Have 3 builders. That'll leave us 3 people not doing work. So they'll get in here. Oops, I hit the wrong key again. Well, they'll get in here and they'll start building all the housing that we need. But they'll only be able to do, 1 at a time, each one of them. But that's assuming we have enough wood and whatever else they need to do this construction. And as you can see, it just takes 11 wood. That's the only thing they have to come up with. Now, I probably should go ahead and tell you what my strategy is in this regard. I'm not going to buy this other land right in here yet, even though I could because of the cost. But I've got a nice separation for my housing from my work. Now, the only time that gets me in trouble is when the work is this far away. See, they don't like to work very far from their house. So, to prevent problems in the future, I'm going to go ahead and authorize them to build housing over in this area too. And I'll even go a little bit further. And this area that's on this side of the road, all this can now be housing. Now I don't want to get too close into the rocks there, or the stone. So now they have more than enough space for housing. I wanted them to start over here. Oh, we have a volunteer coming in for looking for work. Okay, now we can click on them. I don't really have a job for them right now. I've got this one full, I got this one full, and I got this one full. So we got to come up with some more work. All right, so let's see. We don't have this building up yet. And I want to keep it on this side of the road if I can. And I want to go ahead and get it going. Let's see, where's the front door? Oh, the front door would be this one here. This would give access there and that access. So I want to move this fairly close to the road. We're using the road as our alignment tool. Now we'll use the R key like we did before. We'll zoom down. We're looking at the footprints. We don't want to get too close. Now we can rotate. All right. Oh, but we don't have an adequate gap right there, so we got to move back a little bit. That looks like about 1/4 of an inch right there, so that should work. Boom. So if the builders are not busy on housing like they've already started, wow, they got all that. Well, we are running on ×3. Whenever they're not taking a break and they're not busy, they'll come over here and start this project, and we have a builder there already. Sometimes you'll see 2 builders, and other times you'll just see one builder with another builder bringing in supplies. Now, notice what she needed. She needed stone and wood, and that's why I wanted to start harvesting stone as soon as possible. And I put a full crew on it. All right, now we can go ahead and assign somebody. And if I remember right, we've got all these people are available. Wow. All right, put that one in there. We'll go to the bottom of the list, put that one in there, go to the top of the list, and put that one in there. So we've got a full crew. But they're going to be taking the wood out of here. So now you have another resource, valuable resource that's being hit every time they build. Hey, we got a new volunteer. I'm going to go ahead and accept that volunteer. That will get me back up to 2 people that are unemployed. All right, but in the meantime, I need to go to this. We've already got these all done, so let's go to this one. And let's put the water well in. Now, I'm going to back it up a little bit because I want the circle to get bigger. But I might be getting too close to the builder's workshop. All right, I think that's going to work. Now, the other thing you saw there, which is real important to us, is gathering hut, because that's what they're going to be eating. But we have to put it where the berries are. And it looks like there's a bunch of berries right here, so I'll put it, that looks pretty well centered. And then I'll move it, the entrance, don't want to be too close, then I'll pay the 10 gold. And if the builders are not busy, they should get started. Or at least one of them should get started. And as soon as they do, we want to assign as many people to that job as possible. There we go. And I've got 2 people available for that job. All right, now the next priority will be, of course, how can we feed our people? So we go here. Now this time we have to go back here to where it says logistics and tap on it. Then tap here. And you want food. That's the only thing that you can start with. I'm going to put it on pause by hitting the space bar. Of course, you can click down here also. Now, you see where the, what would you call that, white circle dot is? That's where your person that's going to sell the food is going to stand. So just remember, you've got 2 ways in and out, and the people that want to buy, they've only got 1 place to stand. So let's go with the R key again, and let's back, well, we better zoom in a little bit. Let's back this up a bit. Probably backing it up a lot more than I need to. But remember, I want this circle to get bigger because we're going to have a whole lot more of the stuff for, selling. Now, rustic market tent. To me, it makes sense just to use the first one. You got to have some cloth. Now, and you have to put this on now. If you don't put it on now, you'll probably have trouble doing it later. And then we'll go ahead and pay. Yep. So, a builder. We have to take it off a pause. I'll just use spacebar. And I'll use the F key, like in Freak. Now, I'm going to need somebody to man, and I need another person over here. All right, where is it? There it is. Now, I've got one left over to man the food booth, and we can go ahead and assign them now. Now, we don't have other options that's going to come up later. We just made it past the first big phase of construction. We're now a village. So all these serfs that you see running around, they're now villagers. We're full. And once she goes and gets some berries, we've got the manned. We're full. We're full. We're full. And we're full. Now, since I called this Tineitown, I'm going to be taking people off of jobs that I think I could afford to take them off of. But we probably get another person in before much longer. We would look right here and it says average happiness is low, enjoyment or employment is high, and we should get some more people coming in looking for work in 5 days. Now, if we look here, we got see 0. Nobody's unemployed. Our happiness, rustic food. Okay, that starts off with the berries. Refined food comes later and will be a headache for you to try to keep up with. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab that person and I'm going to assign them over here, even though I haven't given them any work yet. All right, let's go back to happiness. Now, as soon as they start getting berries over there for sale, and people actually go over there and grab some berries to eat and some water, you're going to see the rustic food number go from 20% negative to positive. Oh, let's go ahead and turn this off. All right, so what's the story here? They're not quite at their 50 maximum. They're getting there. All of your facilities, your work sites, if they're collecting something, they have a maximum of 50. You'll see that pretty common. And then once they get there, all these people will go on break. They'll just stop working because they don't have anywhere else to put those berries. So they figure, well, we're done for the day. I can see right here it says they're missing materials. They don't have enough wood. Now, I purpose it, but their storage is full. See there? Well, actually, they needed one more, but they're about ready to get that done. Then they'll really be full. Now, I find those symbols nice to have. So look up here. You got up here in this top left-hand corner, you got to help. Look at all the stuff they want you to read. And believe it or not, some of your questions will probably come up and you won't be able to find an answer to it. That's why people like me make these videos. Now, you can type in a keyword up here and see how many places come up. Let's go berry. All right, and then we'll hit the enter key. The only one that highlights is tavern. So they're probably got the word berry, brew. Yeah, there's the word berry. Now, if I change it to berries, and I don't misspell it, I-E-S, and then I hit enter, we've got villager needs, environmental resources, consumption, markets, essential, additional needs. All of those contain the word berries in it. See how that works? And that's how you would research anything you want to research. All right, did she ever put out any berries? Well, it's only one person. I'll go ahead and take her. She'll get a drink. Why doesn't she? Oh, I didn't assign a resource. So I have to click here, and the only resource she can sell there is berries. Now things should start working like it should. Is she stuck? No. All right, she should show up and she should put in 3 baskets. Oh, she took it out of here. Huh. There wasn't that many berries over there. All right, here she does. She's coming back. There we go. Now people can get the food and the water they need. Now, what we can do is we can slow this down and give you some real important information right quick. I don't need to pause on it. Just click on somebody. Where's my cursor at? Let's hide from you again. Okay, here we go. This is who we just clicked on. She's heading to work. She's a miner. She's already level 2. Her basic essential needs, water, rustic food, and housing have all been met. Refined food, see later on she'll be looking for meat, bread, or cheese. And after that she'll be looking for a church. See how that works? And you'll see that information on all of them. Now, if I don't want these people to run out of wood to harvest, then I would see where this symbol right here. The reason why that symbol is showing is if you go up here, parts under construction. Okay, I've clicked on it, left click. These are all highlighted now. So anytime those symbols are supposed to be showed, like you see here, they will be. 2 more people looking for work. No, it's too early for that. It's too early for that. Because remember, this is called Tineitown, so we're trying to keep our population as small as possible. But if you ever need to know where something is or where something needs attention, you've got all of these options. Like here, it tells you what you've said was allowed. Now, they're running out of wood to harvest. And the only way I can fix that, well, let's click over here, left click again, is we're going to have to give them permission to harvest some more of the wood that's available. And like I said before, this is a left click and a drag. Now, if you don't own it, or there's no wood there for them to harvest, then you might as well go ahead and hold down your right mouse button and go back like this. If there's no trees to harvest, you might as well keep this, what would I say, tidied up. Looks like they've got all the trees in this area already harvested. Now I'm going to make my circle smaller. Remember, you hold down a control key and you move your mouse wheel. It doesn't matter which control key. And then I'll right click and drag it over like so. And we'll do the same thing over here. Now let's see, we could zoom in with the mouse wheel just to make sure we haven't overlooked a tree that could be harvested. We can't harvest the bush, and that doesn't work for telling them to harvest berries. You gotta just put a structure nearby. But we do have a tree that's not being harvested. So I'll do the control key again, make it a little bit smaller, and click. And if I'm worried about my alignment, then of course I want to be all the way up to the bird's eye view. And it looks like I've got it. Oh, maybe not right there. Now we should be good. So we can turn that off now. You can also use the escape key to cancel an operation. All right, we've got people that are not, they're kind of knocking off because they've already harvested all that there was. But phase 1 is complete, except for we haven't designated a spot where she can go out and plant brand new little saplings. They'll grow up in trees, and when they're big enough, they'll cut them down. So let's make our circle a bit bigger. Let's replant this area here. I don't want to replant where the berries are because it'll kind of hide them. And drag it off this way. And once they get all the trees out of here, they'll replant. Now she'll go in there and she'll replant the saplings like I was telling you. I'll just use the escape key this time. And everything probably should work out to keep these guys busy if they've got more storage space. But they don't have more storage space. Now the other thing that's kind of critical right off the bat, we go here. And, oh, we don't have the option right now, do we? The warehouse and the granary. We could do the church. Just get rid of all the little tick marks or whatever you call them. Now, services is not yet an issue for these townfolk, but it will be. Now, for some reason, they call this one major and they call this one minor, but this one is actually bigger. So I don't really understand that. Of course, if you look at the pictures here, it kind of suggests this one's the bigger one. So what I'll do is I like to put this where it's going to make the most good, most influence. And that, of course, would be right in here. I use the Q key to twist and E like an echo to twist the other way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move it a little bit closer to the road, but not too close. Because at some point I'm going to want to put some sort of structure in here to make this bigger. All right, now if we look over here, we've got the basic room. We need one. Now we need a bell tower. See, there's a wooden one. Well, also you got these options right here. See, just the rooms, just the bell towers, just the doors, and anything that will add, in this case, a decoration, which will also improve, if you look up here at the top, splendor. The more splendor we add to the structure, the more number. And the numbers will actually tell you that will do 2 splendor. You see it? It's got that little star with the number 2. And at the bottom it needs 5 polished stone and 2 tools to build it. So we couldn't put that in right now if we wanted to. So let's go to the bell towers, next one listed. And let's see. Yeah, we've got wood, we've got planks, and we've got 1 tool. Actually, we have 36 tools up here. There's our planks and there's our wood. And of course, they all stop at 50 if they're full. Now, this wood has more than one place they could put berries. Some are on the market stall, and the other 50 are over here. Okay, so let's see. We have everything we need for that one. Rustic thatched steeple. 321. 631. That one must be taller. 8, 1, and 5. That must be the best investment. Well, they call it major, so I guess that's a clue. Now, you see the towers got those dots, are white dots, and the church itself has the circles. Well, that's how you connect it. You just line them up. Do you want to put in the front for some reason? Because you plan on putting other attachments? I usually do it like this. And then I have to have a door, so I go here. This one is, if I look at the bottom, 2 and 1, 1 tool, 2 planks. This one's 8 planks and 2 tools. So that would be the more fancy. And instead of putting it here in the front of the church, I put it in front of the bell tower. So I can extend this way or that way or on the sides or behind it. All kinds of options. Now, if I click on one of these little people, one of these little villagers, they're probably not looking for service yet. Oh, actually they are, aren't they? Now, we've got our happiness all the way up to 60 so far. Refined food, which is going to take a while before we can attempt to satisfy this one. But we can get it all the way up to 80 by removing that minus 20% on service. So you'll be looking up here a lot. And you'll be looking up here to see how many villagers you got, whether once you want to take a chance on getting some more. Now, I'm going to go ahead and enlarge the residential area. Oh, I can't. I don't own this piece of land yet. Now, do we want to go ahead and grab her? If we do, where would we put her? What would she do? Because right now, I don't have a place for her to work. But we've already got one person that's unemployed. So they're going to become the priest or the, well, they call them priest. Doesn't seem to matter if they're male or female. But notice that we've got a 0 here. We're not bringing in any extra money. The only money we got is what's left from what we started with, which I believe was $450. So how would we change that? Well, all of your progression or progress is right here. And it's all based on how much gold you could spend here, here. This one, the coins are different. They look like they're made out of copper. The coins over here look like they're made out of silver. So what do we got here? Storage. We could provide more storage in the warehouse and the granary. So that would be our best first option. It's going to cost us $25. We don't have to have any progress. See that little star right there with the reefs around it? Right off beginning of the game. And right now we've got progression of 5. Now progression is based on your wealth. We don't have any points there. Territory, we've got 2 of those, and they're giving us 2 points right off. And you can see what the points are by looking up here. That's how they determine what the points will be here. And if you look, there's actually a formula to this. So the population is 18, and they multiply by 0.20 to figure out how many points that's worth. Over here, it's a 1 for 1, so 2 territories, 2 points. Over here, you got quite a few. Your trade balance, your tax balance, your donation balance, your wage balance, your upkeep balance, and your territory upkeep balance. They all get multiplied. And that's how they determine how many points you get over here. You can see population, splendor. Splendor is here, and they calculate by anything that you placed in your village or around your village that provides splendor. And I've already said a few words about splendor. They're usually kind of expensive. They usually cost gold, and they're decorations of some kind. Now, we can pay for this rustic church architecture. It'll cost us 25 gold, as you can see at the bottom of the pop-up window. But that gives us a few extra ideas on making our church a little nicer. And these are the additions that you're going to get. More stone things. Now, it makes sense to go ahead and invest in this because this is the first structure you're going to put up for the sole purpose of having a manor house, great hall, and tax office so that you can start collecting coins from the villagers that you've hired. And it's part of your wealth formula there at the front. There you go. Trade balance, taxes balance. So we're thinking about, I like to collect taxes. So we'll go ahead and pay for the structure. Now we could build a Lord Mayor Manor. Now later on we'll do the monastery and we'll do the fort, but that's quite a bit later. For now we need to focus on increasing our storage. We're not close enough to do any fishing. We got to be on the water. We don't really need to make a bridge anywhere. Village fencing, yeah, it unlocks decorations mostly. It's not going to satisfy anything that comes up later, which they call light fortification. But it does keep the neighbor's properties separated. But it's too early to worry about that. All right, so we go ahead and click here. Now, whenever you see a book that comes up like this, they're going to make recommendations, so it's a good idea to read it. Every villager, and it tells you, okay, we need a manor house, a tax office, a tax collector, increase the taxation that we charge, have a monthly profit revenue from taxes of 10 per month. Right now we're not collecting anything because we don't have the prior items in that list. Now if you go ahead and you click here, left click, then you're saying, yeah, give me the advice, let me follow it, and then no, this is called quest. See right there, start quest, right there at the above, right under or right above advance collecting taxes, or advice collecting taxes. All right, so, or if you want to be stubborn because you figure you know how to do things, then you would click there. But we're clicking here. And we get this nice little pop-up over here. So we keep track of our progress. All right, let's go ahead and turn, come up here to Spyglass, turn this off right here. Left click, zoning areas. Nice clean map now. Use the E key like an echo. Now this is where, oops, let's click on this right here. Get that out of the way. this would be a good time to buy this piece of property. So we'll click right here where it says territory. Boom. And that piece of property is right there. It's going to cost us, as it shows you, 100 gold coins. It's also going to cost us an upkeep of 5 coin a month. And believe it or not, that can become a burden after a while. So let's go ahead and click on it. And then we'll click over here. We click right here where it says administration. And now we could do a manor house. All right, so, and we'll put the manor house right here on this edge that we artificially made between housing, industry. That's where we've got to start off with this. We can just run our cursor over these. Okay, got them all. Now we have to start with the room, just like it shows right there. And we want a big one. Now, it looks like this one might be the biggest. It's got 9 wood. No, that's not wood, that's planks. 6 stone and 4 tools. Ooh, this one's 30, 15, and 4. So that's obviously bigger. That's what you normally start with. And we'll go ahead and turn it so it's kind of lined up with everything else. We'll move it over a little bit. Use our Q like in quick key. Take a look here. Well, maybe, come on, just twist a little bit. There we go. That looks good. Now, the next thing we need is a reception area and a door. All right, reception, of course, will be the arrow like it shows. Now, we'll zoom down in. It's going to be right up in this area, but we could back it up and leave them in this market circle that we're not really using right now. But before we start the build, let's get the door in. Now, this one's simple. It cost us 4 planks, 1 tool. Ooh, 16. So that'd be the fanciest one. Doesn't provide any splendor, but does provide fancy. And there we go. See, of course, we could do this first so that the dot shows up right away. All right, we have all the minimum requirements, so let's go ahead and say build. Now, we're going to need a tax collector. I'm going to go ahead and take her, even though she might be 1 extra. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. The hotkey for speeding it up is numbers pad +sign. So let's use that one. Boom, boom. Uh-oh, it's not doing nothing. Well, I'm just going to click then. Maybe there's... Let's see. Yeah, that turns the numbers off and on. Maybe I have to turn the numbers off in order to get the symbols to show up. Or did I push the wrong key? I might have pushed the wrong key. Trying to get my eyes to focus. I'm an old guy, so sometimes I have issues with being able to focus on something. All right, build the manor house, and that's what this is. Manor house, the Great Hall. Then we want to attach to it a tax office. And they say that's opposite right now. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they said minor instead of major. Assign a new tax collector. All right, we've got 2 people waiting to be employed, so that's not going to be an issue. Then we're going to want to increase the taxes, and then until we can have a monthly income of 10. Now, that's also based on your population. Okay. Now they're happy. Very well. We've got us a church. You earn praise from the estate of the realm. Outstanding. Now we can go ahead and assign somebody to do our village priest duties. Now we'll just take the first one. Hey, and it's a guy. Sometimes from these names you can't tell. I wonder if he's going to reach his maximum of 24. We can watch that while they're still working on the manor house. If he does, that means we need to make it bigger, either adding building to it or making it taller. Now, everybody is going to go satisfy their need to be told what to do or not do. And there's church services. It's kind of funny, but they don't stay in there very long. Uh-oh, we got a messenger coming. All right, let's see what the messenger wants. Get my cursor on the map here. All right, let's go ahead and push the space bar so we can get a pause. A message from your king. I am but your humble servant. All right, that should satisfy him. Space bar again, he takes off. All right, we still have one. No, I'm not gonna accept that guy. This is where I need to start cutting back. All right, so let's see. Now, from here on out, whenever we want to make changes with this building, we have to click on it. And then we have to come over here to the little white hammer for edit building. And now we want to click down here because we want something other than a manor house. We want to make an attachment. And like it says, we can add a tax office. Now, what are we going to use for the tax office? Well, over here it said minor tower. That would be that tower right there. 3 stones, 6 planks, and 2 tools. And it's just like before, we got to line up the dots and the circles. Now, let me explain something to you right here before we do anything else. You see that kind of, what would you call it, purple slashes? Well, those purple slashes are telling you that that provides what they call light fortification to all the buildings that just turned purple. And the church is providing, the church tower is providing for these other 2. All right, so let's go ahead, click back here, and get it built. Oops, I need a... All right, so let's get it built. And it's going to use this front door, so we don't have to add a door to it, but we can if we want to. So the tax man, tax woman can get in and out on their own. Now, since we've got an extra territory, you see what it's costing us? It's costing us 1 every month in upkeep. So you see what that does to our coin tendency? I guess we've gotten 2 months past already. All right, so now we can put a tax collector in there. And that's the only other person we have that's not employed. Now, clicking here won't do any good. They'll just show you the person. But you want to click right here to add them to the job. Now we've got a happy, we're first tax office, very well. And when you have the game for yourself, you can read this. They might change some things. All right, now, I need to show you if you go up here and you right click with your mouse, what's going to happen. It's going to give these little money symbols up here. It's going to tell you who owes money. Right now, nobody owes any money. But when we left click here, it brings up and say, okay, we're getting 6 per serf. So our monthly income, since we're not collecting anything, is 0. So we want to left click right here on the symbol. Oh, that's 27 a month, and we only need 10. But that's going to make them 5% unhappy about this. Tax rate impact on the happiness for this group. And of course, we're talking about these 19 people that we've already hired and put to work. They're normally going to get 6 coin per month from the serfs. Tax impact on global happiness, which would of course would be here. That's your global happiness. Tax stored in buildings and maximum capacity, 200. Right now there's none being stored. And the tax impact on labor influence. Labor influence is this green looking coin up here. And this one over here is your splendor. All right, so now we just have to wait for this last one to be taken care of. We have to collect a whole 10 coins. And we're going to collect more than that, so we're doing great. And we've got everything full, it looks like. She's got all those trees planted. And they're probably getting close to big enough to be cut down. Now, if we wanted to, we could click on her building and make this a little bit bigger. Get down to a bird's eye view. It doesn't look like we'd be covering up anything. So you know what? I'm thinking that's a good idea. So let's click here. Let's go over here to paint. And I'm going to make that circle a little bit smaller. Now, I'm not going to keep telling you how to do these things. I'm just going to do it. Because I'm going to assume that you've got a memory that's as good or better than mine. Is that fair? All right, and we'll go ahead and extend it a little bit more. I just don't want to cover up. Oh, they didn't take that tree out, did they? I'll use the escape key. Well, we'll go like this. So she'll get out there and she'll get the planting. Now, before she covers up anything, the other thing I have to do is try to figure out why they didn't harvest. Oops, right click. Hold down the right click. Now, why didn't they take that tree right there? Now they'll take it. All right, let's back up. Oh, wait, but there's another tree. Or is it actually on the other? No, it's on our side. Okay, so now we got to give them permission to cut all this down. So let's make our circle a little bigger. Well, that's actually too big, isn't it? So then we'll left click and drag it around. Everywhere she's going to plant a tree. So we just say barely on the inside of the blue line. Then we just get the rest of it. There we go. And that should be enough to keep up with their needs for wood. But right now, we need more storage. Now, if I remember, I paid for more storage, right? No, I guess I didn't. I paid for a warehouse, and I paid for a granary, and I haven't built either one. Okay, so a good place for the warehouse would be probably right in here. If we keep this as our main road, that makes sense. All right, where are we going to find the warehouse? There it is. All right, see, this is the warehouse. And I'm going to turn, let's see, which way do we want this to face? I think, I like that arrangement there, actually. So I'm going to rotate it a little bit. And I'm going to compromise between the road and this Lord Mayor's Manor for alignment. Now, to get that alignment more squared up, I need to hold down my mouse wheel, hold it down, and then, it's not, wait a minute, what am I thinking here? That's for other kinds of adjustment. All right, this is the one I want. All right, that gap looks pretty equal, so we'll go slightly like so, because we want to make the compromise. Then we'll grab this, left click and drag, back up here, and put it, well, we can move it later, but I'm going to move it over to here. So we've got plenty of space for that to grow. Now they're going to get in and out of here through these triangles. So it would actually make sense, the more that I think about it, to line it up with the road and then bring it back maybe that far. Yeah, I like that idea. Now, they'll have to go around a little bit, so there'll be a little bump out right there. Yeah, there we go. That looks like a perfect option because these people here will go in there, grab the wood they need, and they'll turn into planks. Whereas these people bring their logs or their lumber and drop it off here. And then the people that are going to be working in here, called transporters, they're going to come out of here, grab whatever they see until they're full. See, the transporters go out and grab stuff. If it's a dry goods, we'll have more different kinds of dry goods later. All right, so now it's time to talk about putting in our granary. Right there. The granary is where you put all your food. Now, they're collecting the food from over here. Whoops, right click. Oh, it canceled my granary. Well, anyway. Let's get back into that granary because I need to show you. When you're talking about industrial structures, a lot of times they, see how they turn the housing red? The church doesn't care, but the housing does. They don't want the noise and the dust and whatnot. The food smells too close to their house. Now, I can't put it here because I don't own that. So if I'm going to put it anywhere, I'm going to have to put it back here somewhere. Oh, the cursor's driving me off the map here. All right, let's get down. I don't want to mess with that bush. even though it might disappear later. So I'll go to about there, then I'll rotate it so it's pointing towards the food stall. And remember, there's going to be more food stalls in here later. And then we'll move it up. That looks pretty safe. I think I've got plenty of space here on the footprints for them to get by. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and build it right there. Now, once that gets done, we'll have another place for berries to be stored. So once it's up and we got a transporter assigned to it, the transporter will come over here, grab the berries out of here, which is full right now. See, 50-50? 50 being the max. And then they'll store them in here if we provide a slot for berries. Now we're going to do the same thing here. And the first thing we're going to provide a slot for, by clicking right here, is of course going to be the wood. Now the other thing we're producing is the planks. We're also producing stone. And we want to have plenty of tools on hand. Now we're out of space. We can't put anything else in there. We don't have anybody that's unemployed, so we cannot assign a transporter to go get stuff and bring it in here until we take them off one of the ones that we've already got. There we go. And I normally take the last person. Now you've also got the option to say dismiss from workplace here, but you could also do it from up here. Now right now she's only level 2, so that doesn't bother me. If they were 3 or higher, that might. I'm going to use this one. Okay, now she's going to become unemployed. See there? And I'm going to start doing that to a lot of things so I don't have to keep hiring new people. And I'll put her in here. That's going to be her new job. Now, how many people do I have here? I usually take the last person in the line. I'm just going to use this one right here. Now, I'm taking her off of cutting planks, and I'm going to be putting her in here. See, we can put somebody in here now. And she's going to be going about, make sure it says unemployed. And she's going to be collecting the only thing we can collect right now, which is berries. Now, let me tell you one more thing. If we get up to 100 berries available for storage, we're telling her to try to keep 100 berries in there. Now, she'll go out, she'll collect the berries. Well, we've only got one right now, which is over here. And she'll store them in that slot. And she'll keep storing them in there until she gets up to 100. Now, from now on, this, what's her name? Marquesa? Oh, that's no, that's the wrong thing. That's the granary. This is the person I want to look at. Oh, geez, what's that? Oslith? From now on, she won't be going to the collecting, gathering hut. She'll be able to come, if there's any in here, up to the granary and grab her berries. So she's got a much shorter trip, back and forth. Now we've got berries over here, so I'm going to go ahead and build another one of those berry collecting facilities, gathering huts, and I'm going to put it right over here. See, when you click on it, it tells you where the berries are. So all you have to decide is where would be a good strategic place to put it. Well, I'm going to figure it over here for now. So I'll click. It looks like there's plenty of space between here and here and here. Pay the 10 coin. Now we have a place to put some more people. But instead of hiring new people, since that would put a strain on my housing, I'm going to gather, well, I've already got that one down. This one's down to 2. So who are we going to put in there? We're not doing a lot of building right now. Yeah, I'm going to take this last person out of here. And I'll use this option this time. Oh, she's level 3. I kind of hate to do that. But I'm going to need another berry collector. Now, I'm not doing that much building, so I don't really need all 3 of them. Unemployed. So now she's a berry collector. Since that's our only food source right now. Oh, we got a messenger. What's the messenger want? And it's from the king. What do you want? You want 25 and we got extra? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and accept it. So I'll left click here. And since we've got it, I don't want to take a chance on not having it. So boom. And now we push the press. Boom. And we got the coins. That's our reward. Now that number is going to keep going up. So we're going to have to try to keep up with it. The only way we're going to be able to do that is we've got to pay for the option that lets us have additional storage space. Now you're going to see this little guy pop up from time to time, like you see right now. So click on him, and what he's telling you is you've got some options available to you right now. We can discuss a levy. Now what the levy will do is, it's like collecting taxes twice in the same month. But keep in mind, we've got a limit right here. If we get more than, what would bring that up to 500? Not quite 200? Then we're not going to be able to store all those coins, so we're automatically going to lose some. So the next consideration we should be giving some thought to is expanding this with a treasury. So we click on it, we come over here, we've got to make sure we come over here first and pick no, that's tax office. Oh, I don't have the option yet. I can't put in a treasury. How about the church? Is it the same deal over here? Yeah, I don't think they have the option yet. Yeah, they definitely don't have the option yet. Okay. So that means we need to take our wealth, put the game on pause for a second, go back up here to progression. And that gave us a storage. Oh, we've got to have this up to 10 first. Oh dear. Well, we could start spending our coins and try to get our splendor up. And it's multiplied by 0.30. So we would definitely have to put down a bit of splendor, wouldn't we? Or beautification. But I don't think we could do either one of those. Well, we can't do beautification until we have this and put that in the housing area. Yeah, see, from now on, we got to have splendor. This one just requires this to get up, based on population, commerce, and stuff. Well, commerce, I think, would fix it the quickest. So what we'll do is we'll come over here, and we'll look right here where it says Royal Book. We'll click on that, and we'll come over here, Trade Routes. See it right there? And we have what we need already in storage. It has to be in the warehouse for this to count. All your trading, buying and selling is done through the warehouse. Unless it's food, then it's done through the granary. Boom. All right. Now, they will buy from us planks, because we're not producing anything else. We can buy from them tools. Ouch. So we can set our minimum so that we never run out of tools. All right, find the tools or the planks. I think the planks come up first. Yeah, here we go. We can sell to them. You see that option right there? But we need to keep some back for our own use. So let's get this up to, yeah, I think 12 will do us for now. And we have any extras? Oh, we got lots of extras. We got up to, see the number 60 right there? So we can sell anything more than 12, as we have it set right now. Now, tools. We want to try to keep, if we go slow enough, 6 will get us by for a while. Because most of our building will be 5 or less normally on the tools. But the only option we have is to buy those from our trading trading partner. The rest of these, it all works the same way. Oh, we're still not doing that great on berries. But we could buy berries if we needed to. How you would set that up is just like we did with the tools. Say, okay, I never want to have less than 12 berries. And we'll go ahead and we'll buy, since that's available to buy from you guys. But of course what that does is that puts a real hammer on your overall upkeep and stuff. And of course, it's going to drain away your reserved coins. And right now we've got some ones showing, since we're trying to hold our population down. All right, so as long as we don't run out of resources or we strip too many workers, we could just let it roll for hours. Let's see, we could take one person out of here. Let's take her out of here. And let's see, I think I only put one over here. Yeah, I did. Let's put her over here. She's finishing up and then she'll be ready. And once she's done, she'll go to work over here. So we got two, and everywhere else. Oh, we didn't take anybody off of wood yet. I always take the last person because they're probably the least leveled up. Now, what are we going to do with them? Do we have a job opening? No. No. I'll put it back out here on berries for a while. Put them back on stone collection. No. Well, it would make sense to make sure you're fully manned here and manned here. But right now, I like this number to stay closer to 150. So maybe we should consider putting out another berry collection spot. Can't do those. We've got one for there already. Can't do those. Ooh, they got lots of berries back here, don't they? So let's move this one. Yeah, let's put it right in here somewhere. Yeah, we'll point it in that direction. Since berries are our primary food supply, and once that gets built, we'll put somebody out there, let them get busy. Now, for all intents and purposes, we have finished with phase 1, and we are heading into phase 2. Now, market goods, not yet. We're not making anything that requires them. Lumber camp improvements, ooh, yeah, that means we could store more lumber. Storage improvements, warehouse and granary, yeah, that makes sense. That looks to be our best possible purchase of 50 coins right now. Now, the other one would be this one, Extended Village Edict, and I'll try to explain why. When we want to get our houses improved so they're a little more happy with them, that's where the beautification comes in. So I'll go ahead and spend 50 there. And polished stone, I don't think we can sell that to anybody just yet. If we want to be able to store more lumber at the lumber camp, that would be this one. Now, when we want to get into farming, that's for your wheat to make bread. That's when you want your windmill and your bakery. Or you want to make clothing first because you want to start promoting. Don't start promoting anyone until you have that operation going and actually have stuff in the warehouse to sell, because you're going to need a stall up and running. Now, hunters, they want you to go ahead and get hunters and butchers now. Cost 50, but that's kind of a two-edged sword. We don't have much territory, and one check with one hunter in it, he can butcher out all of these, or I should say he can hunt up all of these boars, the wild pigs, rather quickly. So it's the butcher guy, he kind of stays unemployed for a while, waiting for him to bring in some hogs. And then, of course, you got to put the cut up meat inside the granary, and it usually doesn't work too well in the first part of the game. But again, we won't need this until we start making t-shirts. We've already got a stone cutting camp, but we haven't added a mason's hut for polishing stone, which we could sell later. Right now, I don't think we can, so I'll hold off on that. We'll double check. Let's check on that. Right click, okay. All right, so let's check on that. Oops, I got the wrong one. I need this one here. Will they buy? Oh, they will buy polished stone from us. So that would be a good investment right now. So let's go back in here and let's invest in the polished stone since we have the coin right now. Oh, we're running out of coin fast. So we better hold off on the rest of it. All right, take it off of pause. We've got one person that's unemployed. There we go. We'll put them out here. Just remember now, our theme is tiny town, as few people as possible. Pause. We got some options here. Village decorations. Rose bush, terracotta bench. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We don't have the gold to do it right now, but we will eventually. Edicts and privileges. Yeah, we've already got one paid for. We just haven't done it yet. Careful planning. That's the one they advise. So we need to go into here, find our edicts and privileges. It's open, and the one they want is careful planning right there. And the reason why that's such a nice one to have is it gives you back half of the tools that they use right after they get the building done. And that's going to save us a lot of need to buy more tools. Boom. And that finishes off that recommendation, so we're good. Right click. All right, take it off there. Now we've got a new building we can put up, which was the stonemason right here. So we can start making polished stone. And let's put them right there, I think. It's got a whole bunch of ways to get in and out of there. So the only thing we really have to worry about is this gap right here. I could probably move it in a little bit more. That looks like 1/4 of an inch. Pay her 25 gold. And we could use one more berry picker, and we could use somebody to polish stone. All right, what else are they recommending now? Levy funds. Oh, they want us to start collecting extra taxes. All right, so what do they say? Discuss a levy. Oh, we still haven't gotten. Oh, they're up to 50 coin. Oh dear. Well, anyway, you click here on your Lord's Manor. You select the mandate. We want to discuss the levy, and this is real important to you. You see why? Every time you do this, it's going to knock that down by 30%. And we're going to gain from your serfs. We got enough serfs to gain 63 right now. Boom. There we go. We got her done. All right, now the only thing left to do is put this, click here, right click. We've got a slight surplus going here, so, is that gonna go negative on me? Yeah, it will. I'm gonna put it on pause. Because what they want us to do is they want us to own a rose bush, and that they want us to use this one over here. And we have to go to this one that's got the little tick mark on it. Find us a rose bush. Well, they want us to do all these at this point. I'm going to get rid of these little tick marks. So it'll take away the one that's right there. There we go. Now go back to the front now. There's a rose bush. All right, we just need one. Now, see what it does? If you get it in a good spot, it'll make them happy. They will like their property much, much better. But, oh, that's right, this beautification won't do me any good over here. So let's put it, is there anywhere I can put it to get 2 houses greened up with 1 rose bush? No, I guess not. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put it right there. Pay for it. Actually, I could have put a rose bush by holding down the shift key on all of them and just made 1 payment. All right, Ooh, let's get rid of this. We already done that part. All right, now what? Own a terracotta bench, okay? Terracotta bench. That looks like terracotta right there. If I put it over here, I guess it doesn't matter where I put it. It's going to make them happy. They'll like their house a little bit better. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's put it right here then. Zoom in. Now, for some reason, they haven't fixed that so it's white. With that being red, it kind of looks like, you know, that you got it in a bad spot or something. That looks like a good spot anyway. But anyway, you want the red arrow pointing to the front. All right, now what? Young oak planter. Young oak planter right there. Ooh, that's a big tree. And actually, I could plant it right on the middle of that rose bush. Ooh, cost me 20. Kind of hides the rose bush, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I guess I didn't get it dead center. All right, what's next? Road sign. Okay, it makes sense to have a road sign out here. Gotta find it first. Road sign. It's mostly for the benefit of the housing area, so we're not putting it close enough to do us any good for the housing area. But we're done. Okay, own a rope fence. There it is. Now, where would we want them to change? Well, I'll just put over here, I think. And make it, let's move around here a little bit. Zoom in a little bit. That looks pretty square. Okay, and we're done. We got another one done. Let's take it off a pause. All right, so we've improved the housing area a little bit. Did we get any? Oh, yeah, we got this up. What was it I needed to be 10? Let's put it on pause here and get back into here. Progression. I needed something to be 10. It was this. Well, we've already got everything we need there. It's too early for the... Well, I've only got 58. We won't need that until someone gets... We're aching, I mean, literally aching to promote somebody above surf level, which is commoner. Goods market, yeah, we would need both of those. This just helps feed everybody. Farming is a big deal, so I'll guess, like I said, it's really too early for that, but we can go ahead and purchase it. Even though, no, let's do this one, because this does the most good. It's also the biggest headache, because you need gold for all the buildings and stuff, and keeping people employed, bakers and grinders and all that stuff. All right, that's all we can do for now. We're not close enough to, do anything with this. We probably should have done something with that, but... All right, so now there's talking about the farmhouse for growing wheat, your windmill for grinding it into flour, and your bakers. Once you start on this, it'll drive you nuts if you don't control your population so you don't have too many people. All right, we've got somebody that can work here, so let's go ahead and get it done. Now, for some reason, these people are not griping about where they live, which is way back over here somewhere. So I'm kind of hoping he won't either. No, I'm not going to grab anybody else because I've got 2 at all of my spots here, right? No, I don't. I thought I did. Now we got 2. This I really should move. All right, I've got the gold right now, so let's move this. So we click on it, then we click on that little hammer, and we click right towards the middle of it, and then we move it to wherever we think it'll do us more good. I think it's going to do us more good, but we have to cough up 1 gold. Then the builder will come about out here, and once they get that put back into operation, and he only needs 4 wood to do it. And from the looks of things, we've got plenty of wood, so that should not be an issue. And I'll put those 2 people right back to work, collecting and depositing. Now, as long as we don't keep growing our population and basically overpopulate ourselves, we can keep building. Oops, supposed to hit the Q key. That's the tab key that brings that up. Right now we don't have anything unlocked anyway, so that's your hotkey. And did we leave it at 3? No, we knocked it down to 2. We only need 1 in there, and we got that. We only need 1 there. Yeah, we got that. She's keeping up with the planting and harvesting. In fact, I should go ahead and unplant this area here, and we'll use the circle, and we'll just use a right click. Then we'll go down here. We'll say, okay, there's not going to be anything in here to harvest. Do we have any other buildings we need to do that with? Yeah, we do, right there. So let's do that again. Right in here. Oh, why did it do that? And then repeat. Well, I wouldn't want to cancel until they actually get the trees out of there. So let's go back to here and let's bring it out. Right click. All right, cancel. No, they still haven't gotten those 2 trees out of there. Yeah, it looks like I got it lined up all right. So once they cut those trees down, I could go ahead and cancel that so they don't try to go back in there and find some trees to cut, since there won't be any there. And I'll probably extend this over to the borderline so that she could plant new trees in there. Well, what do you think? Did I explain everything good enough so you understand my strategy of Tineitown? Boy, that's a, what would you call that, mouse and rat view? Or maybe the goat and cow view? Now, these bushes will get stripped of their berries eventually, but if we keep our population low, it'll take a really long time. I mean, a really long time for that to happen. So technically, we can just let the game run. But I probably should warn you that if I don't move the mouse and I don't move or click on any keyboard keys for, say, 2 or 3 hours, I think we're going to get hurt. I think they actually penalize players that do that so that they can build this number up towards our max. Since this game is so hungry. All right. See, nothing happens. You can't click on that and get anything to happen. But if you go here, even though it's kind of invisible, you can extend your storage space. And now you've got more choices, but you want to move it in a little bit until about there. And then you want to look at your gap and make sure your gap is even as possible. It looks like I need to rotate just a little bit. That's probably about as close as I'm going to get it. And notice there's no real cost to it except for materials. Now, once that is constructed, we could go in here and we'll have more space open to us. And of course, what we're going to want to do is we're going to say, all right, we're not going to buy and sell wood, but we will get requests that come in from time to time, and they will ask us for some more wood. So what we might want to do is say, put the planks, well, just take them all out of here. Refuse any more planks. Take them out of here. Empty. Now, they don't have anywhere else to put planks right now, unless we build another warehouse. So we'll have to knock this down by selling the planks. And we've only got one trade partner right now. Oops, we better go ahead and... All right, thanks for interesting trade. Many folks are now looking. All right, what do you want? The neighboring village will expect you to eventually help them by sending resources through a mandate. Well, it's too early in the game for me to entertain that, so I'm going to say maybe later. Take it off a pause. Now, most people don't do it this way. They go ahead and say, okay, we need planks to sell and trade anyway, and it's going to take forever for them to come in here and get 88 of them, so let's go back to having full plank. And just put another spot in for planks. There it is. And put another spot in for wood. There it is. And put another spot in for basic stone. There it is. And put another spot in for polished stone. And that will take care of, we only had one spot. But see what we just did? We used up every additional storage spot we can possibly have. So what we have to do is go down here and say, all right, can I put another one of these in? And the answer is yes, you can put another one in. And once it's constructed, it will add to your storage space. Try to get our space there even. Move this over enough to where they're kind of matched up. Well, a little bit more, I guess. Now, when you're doing a fine adjustment like that, use your mouse wheel when you need to. So you click and you hold down your mouse key. But see what that does to the map? For this particular one, you don't have any choice. You have to use these two arrow rings. And then if you want to move it left or right, you got to use this one. All right, that to me looks pretty good. But now the question is, can I have another one? And the answer is no, that's it. You can't do any more. You'll have to build another warehouse. Now, I try to make these installations as permanent as possible because I'm trying to build up my coin reserves. All right, so what do they got going here? Let's put it on pause. Food diversity. Oh, they want something else to eat. Okay, that's usually fish. But in our case, it's going to be wheat. It's a nuisance, but... All right. One different kind of... It's refined food, notice. It's not just your regular food. Rustic. It's got to be refined. Now, when it comes to refined food, you don't really have a lot of choices. The best way for me to show you that is probably go... Well, no, that's not refined. But it might let me see... Oh, everything else they're showing besides berries is refined food. So basically what they're saying is construct another market for food. So we would go to here, food stall. Can I squeeze it in here? I gotta be careful about how close I get it. Zoom in here a little bit. All right, that gap looks about right, but we're going to back it up some more, and we're going to turn it that way a little bit because I'm planning on buying that other piece of land when I can. And like I said, you want to put the top on right away. That is the right one, right? Huh. It comes out with a color for some reason. All right, so cancel this, then I'll click back on it. Huh, why won't they let me go ahead and buy? Or I should say pay for it. Now they will. Oh, let's try this again. Well, isn't that the buggers? Of course, I don't have anything to put in there right now anyway, but that's where we would do it. And when I click on it, it's going to say the same thing I did when I clicked on here. Those are the only kind of things you can sell there. And refund food, it starts with the meat, the bread, and the cheese. Now, which one you put in first? This would be the hunters, which they'll run out of hogs, so you won't be able to keep it stocked. Bread, you need a farm for that. And you need the 2 support structures, the windmill and the bakery. There, you need a dairy farm. And then you need some cheese makers, so probably cheese is really your best bet. Dairy farm. Now, why won't they let me build that? Is it because I don't have anything else to put in there except berries? I don't know. Oh, we got another advice. Oh, you want to make a trade. And I've got how much wood? Yeah, I can afford to do that. And since I can afford to do it right away, you see we've got the current amount is in green. It's higher than the 50 that they want. So we'll do that right away. And then we'll come out of pause. And that brings us up to 75 as our reward. Now, it is common for me to kind of walk away and come back later because everything's cooking just fine. Now, this is a good time to, because they will come asking for extra berries. And then, of course, we want to collect the max amount, so there'll be 100 and 100. And then they'll be maxed out here, and the rest of the storage will have to go into their structures like this here. Huh. I thought I fixed that. They're not cutting down that tree. Alright, if they got a tree that's in the way, you could go here. You can say, take the resource. Now we'll make our circle a lot smaller. It turned red. Oh, that's part of the building. And they will give that priority. But I don't think it actually adds to how much wood we have in storage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and check here. I think I've already bought this, haven't I? The option to... Yeah, and for some reason, this is the only one that works right. If I try to use this one, which has the same storage capacity, I normally cannot adjust on it. Oh. Well, I actually don't have to adjust on it. It's perfectly lined already, but let's try it. See there? It quivers. So unless you get lucky like I did, and everything's pretty well square anyway. Well, that was very lucky. Let's do that again. Now we could add the wooden cart, but that'll only hold 10 more. That will give us an extra employee. That will give us 2 more. 2 more. 2 more employees. 1 more must be a hammock, huh? That'll give us 1 more. A snoring post, a place to take a nap. Tool rack, 3 splendor. That one's a woodsman tool rack, and it's waterproof. It's got a tent top on it. But anyway, this is the one I normally use, the deceptively large one. Because that one is adjustable. But I would want to put it right about, a little more, right about there. Now, at some point, I'm probably going to want to put some more storage space in for wood. So once they have both spots filled up in here, They don't even have the first one filled up yet. They're getting on it. Polished stone. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put another polished stone in there. I don't know if I'll ever fill them both up. But I've got a few more spots yet to use. I don't need a second spot for tools. The other thing I want to check is up here. And go over here to where it says resources. F4 is the hotkey. And let's find our planks. There they are. We said we keep 12 back. Well, all of our projects are going to get a little heavier on demand for planks, so let's raise that to 24. That's a modest raise, but a raise nonetheless. Now, if we ever get down to 12 berries, we better raise this to 24. Even though they're kind of expensive. Tools, well, we better go to 12 with this. Even though that's going to put a drain on our income. And that's pretty much it for now. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Oh, polished stone. Did we do anything with polished stone? No, we didn't. We can sell polished stone, so we want to keep 12. Yeah, that'll get us by for now, and then we'll sell the rest. Now, by taking the extra person out of here, it makes it a little bit harder for them to max out the storage here, because we've got some demand here. See, he takes up to 20 of them, and he starts making one polished stone out of it. He can store up to 50. And then the transporters from this one right here have the option to come in and grab its polished stone. And have they been yeah, they have. They've got both. Wow, they got lots of stone. So they're not going to run out of stone anytime soon. So whenever he needs more stone, he normally won't take them from them, from what I've seen. Once you get the warehouse up, he'll come over here to get it. Now I do want to add to this building. But I guess before I do that, I'm going to have to modify this part. Make our circle a bit bigger. And say, all right, you don't need to... Oops, I'm doing it wrong. Hold down the right mouse. You don't need to replant this area anymore. Because I don't want to hide my building. I want to find it. But in the meantime, I need you guys to come get all these trees out here. So I'm going to go ahead and... No, left click. Ask everybody to come get these trees. Well, we don't have any trees right there, so... Eventually they will, and once they do... Well, looky there, they're still not letting me... Well, I guess this is a good time as any to click on the shovel. Takes everything away. But now they say it's okay for me to build the village market. And the only thing they're going to charge me is the wood. Alright, I'll do that. But now can I add a canopy to it? See, it won't lock in. Now that's not my fault, that's the game that's doing this. Did it lock in? See, there's no indication that it's locking in. So let's cancel that by just backing up here like this. Then we'll click on this, and we'll use the little red shovel, destroy building. And then we'll start over. Alright, so we want to move it Move it back a little bit. Oh, too far. I guess that's the best I can. I'm not real happy with that gap. Oh, that gap is okay. No, can't rotate it. That's the best I could do, I guess. Now, see, right there where it's got that circle? See, now I can get it in there. But look at that. They will not let me put it in there. Now I can use this option right down here to back it off. Maybe it's because I haven't bought this piece of land over here yet. That's the only thing I can think of why that won't work. Oh, what do we got over here? Huh, I'm not really sure why that happened the way it did. Okay, let's see. Well, we've already got that designated, but we don't have any trees right in here, so whoops. Okay, we can go ahead and move this back now. It looks like to me we missed a few trees here, so let's extend this a little bit. Yeah, let's extend this a little bit too. Well, we've been going at this for, what, about 2 hours now? So what do you say we call it good? Until next time, be well.